The book of Revelations, chapter 13. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beasts, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
We always talk about what is the mark of the beast. What can it be? Is it a microchip, a tattoo, an inoculation, or a mark of worship? Today, we don't seek to answer what the mark is, but the systems that will be connected to it, so that when the time comes, the saints will be prepared for it. In these segments, we are dealing with the systems and technologies that will be used to institute and enforce the mark. We know that Satan has many devices, and he intends to use them in his system. Domination and deception, accompanied by various layers of technology, will be used to destroy the world and Christians if possible. So it is of the utmost importance to be aware of what's happening in society today. This system will be broken down into 4 parts that Satan will use as a means to be like the Most High. So the 4 episodes we're going to be getting into today. Episode 1, how Satan is going to be imitating omnipresence. The second episode, how he will be imitating omniscience. Third episode, how he will be imitating omnipotence. And finally, the 4th episodes, how he will offer the people false eternal life. We pray that you watch all the episodes as we move forward. Thank you. Episode 1, imitating omnipresence, being everywhere. Omnipresence is the power to be all places at all times, and is the power that only God has. According to Psalms chapter 139, it says, "Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there." So God is always there. What Satan seeks to do is to have a counterfeit. And his counterfeit is what I'd like to call technological omnipresence. It's not a literal omnipresence, but a deception to dominate the people. It is the illusion of being inescapable through continual observation, continuous identification, continuous connectivity, and continuous record keeping. The beast system's goal: wherever you go, the system is already there and it can still reach you. So no matter where you go, Satan's goal is to make you feel like you can never escape him. That's his goal, because Satan likes to counterfeit what God does. His dream, his aspiration is to become like the Most High. Now, there are multiple technologies we believe will help the beast system to come into full effect in the near future. But for the sake of time, we will only be mentioning a few. Now, the beast system's false omnipresence begins with an infrastructure which is called IoT, or what is commonly known as the Internet of Things. So for those of you that don't know, the Internet of Things refers to a network of physical objects, devices, vehicles, appliances embedded with sensors, software, and connectivity to collect and exchange data with other devices and systems over the internet, creating a smart environment for automation, monitoring, and efficiency in areas like smartphones, healthcare, and industries. This is very important. So you have to understand this is what his infrastructure is built on. Now, this term is very well known to some of you, I would assume, but for those that are not, I'm going to actually play a quick video so that you can get a better understanding of what it is.
What is the Internet of Things, or IoT? Let's break it down. IoT refers to a network of physical devices connected to the internet, allowing them to collect, share, and act on data. From smart thermostats and wearable fitness trackers to connected cars and smart cities, IoT is everywhere. Here's how it works. Devices are equipped with sensors that collect data, such as temperature, location, or heart rate. This data is sent over the internet to other devices or cloud systems where it's processed and used to make decisions or trigger actions. For example, a smart thermostat can learn your preferences and adjust the temperature automatically. IoT makes our lives more convenient, efficient, and interconnected. Businesses use IoT to monitor equipment, track shipments, and improve operations. Cities use IoT to manage traffic and conserve energy. The potential of IoT is huge, but it also raises questions about privacy and security. That's why developing robust safeguards is crucial as IoT grows.
All right. So now that we have a understanding of what exactly is IoT, we're going to move forward to the first part of what we believe Satan's omnipresence technology is. And what we call this is the local eyes. This is where your neighborhood becomes the sensor. Now, what does this look like for you, those of you that don't understand? It looks like your doorbells, your smart doorbells, your Ring cameras, your porch cameras, people's cameras on their driveways, hallways, streets, store cameras, all of these things connected. Why does it even matter? Because our private property becomes distributed observation, a distributed observation network, constantly recording what's happening. And this is going to be normalized and has already been normalized to look like safety, right? So this is already happening, and higher levels of surveillance, even some that you're not aware of, is happening right now in the form of safety. It doesn't need to be government cameras only. That's why it becomes the local eye, because it's going to be using your neighborhood cameras. Now, I want to play a clip for you to let you know how far we are in this technology. Watch carefully, pay attention, saints.
In 2014, a startup called IoT Era launched a Kickstarter campaign selling GPS trackers that didn't require an internet or cellular connection and had no monthly fees. They were actually trying to sell these trackers in order to build a crowdsourced mesh network. In 2017, they got acquired by Ring, and then in 2018, Ring got acquired by Amazon.
Wow.
In 2021, Amazon launched their own mesh-like network called Amazon Sidewalk. At the same time, Amazon partnered with the smart tag company Tile. And of course, what's really making the headlines is that just last month, Ring partnered with Flock Safety, putting all of this information into the hands of law enforcement. Not to mention, next month, just a few days after this video comes out, Ring plans to roll out facial recognition to all Ring doorbell cameras.
Wow.
Let's start with Amazon Sidewalk. This is a free-to-use shared network offered by Amazon, comprised of Bluetooth Low Energy for short-distance communication and LoRa and other radio protocols for longer-distance communication. After launching Amazon Sidewalk, Amazon partnered with Tile, the smart tag company, announcing that Tile smart tags will be joining the Amazon Sidewalk network. This seems to be one of their first ways to legitimize the Sidewalk network while also getting to compete with Apple AirTags. Fast forward to the present day, and over 90% of the people inside the United States live within an Amazon Sidewalk covered area.
Wow.
The more people that join, the more it grows. Let's take a step back and understand how Amazon Sidewalk works. Amazon states that Sidewalk is a shared network, offered free of charge, that's used for finding lost items, tracking your pets, helping your devices stay online, all while, of course, being designed to protect your privacy. There's two different types of devices to be aware of. Sidewalk
Are they really protecting your privacy? Are they?
bridges and Sidewalk-enabled devices. Sidewalk bridges are the entry points into the Sidewalk network.
Sure, we have
Primarily,
some of
these bridge
in our
devices
home.
consist of Ring doorbells and Amazon Echoes. These bridges provide other devices with a connection into the network. On the other hand, the Sidewalk-enabled devices, which connect to the bridges, are the users of the Sidewalk network. These include other Ring devices, tile trackers, security cameras, smart locks, motion sensors, lights, and so much more. Now, of course, if you happen to own a bridge device, such as a Ring doorbell or an Amazon Echo, it will already be connected to your own home network. When a third-party Sidewalk-enabled device that you don't own, such as your neighbor's security camera or a nearby smart tag, connects to your bridge will actually end up sharing some of your own personal bandwidth with them, allowing them to connect to the internet. To put things into perspective, Amazon claims that these devices can connect to a Sidewalk bridge from up to half a mile away. This is the gist of how things work. Let's say that someone in your neighborhood has some Amazon Sidewalk-enabled lights.
Wow.
Let's say that they're out of town and they want to remotely turn on their lights. If their own home internet connection is down, their lights will now connect to your Ring doorbell on your porch, letting their lights still have access to the internet.
Wow.
When they turn on their lights, the signal will be relayed from your Ring doorbell on your porch wirelessly to their lights in their house, using your own home personal internet connection. Essentially, bridges are devices that share your internet connection with strangers' devices.
So let's pause it right there. I don't want to go any further. So as you can see, this technology from Amazon, I know a lot of people have Ring devices in their home. They have a Ring camera in their home because it's cheap. It's very it's affordable and it's very efficient at what it does. And they have all these things connected, right, to Amazon or from Amazon. Alexa, the little ball. I have one of those things as well. And it's literally taking the internet from other places. So even if it's not connected to the internet, it will, or your internet goes down, it'll pick up the internet and connect. This is what's so interesting, is that these things can stay online even when you think they're not. They all have built-in batteries. How long does the battery operate for inside of the machine? So you could literally turn it off, literally have it off, any of these devices, and you might think it's off, but it's actually still functioning in some kind of standby mode, relaying information, following you, following people, recognizing them by voice recognition, because these are systems of the beast that are leading to his omnipresence, right? See, this is what it's ensuring. It's ensuring that they always know where everybody is, and even when you think you're offline, you're still online. So this turns every place, every home, every area into something that is connected to this system that's being established for the time when the beast makes himself known. This is why the saints need to be knowledgeable and understand the devices that Satan has prepared. Now let's move forward. Now in Revelations chapter 13 and 16, 17, it says, "And he causeth all, both small or great, rich or poor, free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Now, there's this video that I seen, I remember back in the 90s when I was a young boy, and I had to dig to find it on the internet. And it was so shocking because when I seen it as a child, I was shocked. And as an adult, I'm even still shocked even now, because it shows the system that has been in the making for over 20, 30 plus years, right? So saints, the devil loves to show what he has planned. He shows it ahead of time. This is why we need to be mindful, because it's almost to taunt not only the saints of God, but also to taunt the unbelievers, because he wants to destroy them just like he wants to destroy the saints of God. Now, I want to play this clip for you and just have a look at it.
Excuse me, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Checkout lines. Who needs them?
Have a nice day.
This is the future of e-business.
Wow. Wow. Did you just see that video, guys? This is to show you that Satan has been in the works of planning this thing out to plan his omnipresence society. You notice how the man was in the store. This was in the 90s. There's a commercial by IBM. If you guys remember IBM was the leader in computers at that time. And he's showing a man walking into a store, picking up things like he's stealing, walks out of the store, and then they come back to him and say, "Hey, sir, you forgot your receipt," signifying that all transactions and all sales were already done. The camera sees him, voice recognition, facial recognition, he walks out, and what happens? The transaction goes through. If you can see, there's along some kind of like scanner system that's in front of the exit, and he walks out of it, which it's either it was a microchip or some kind of identifier that's connected to him, connected to the system, because the system is going to be omnipresent, right? Or have a false omnipresence, because Satan's trying to be like God and he wants to monitor the people at every aspect. So whether when you go to a store, he knows you went into this store, he knows you went into that store, he knows you went wherever you're going, right? So I want you guys to remember this. Surveillance is going to become normalized in everyday life, and it doesn't only come from above, but it also comes from next door, because sometimes we're always thinking that it's coming from the camera that's above the store or in the buildings, but no, it's going to be coming from next door, next to your home, and everywhere you go, right? So saints, be prepared and understand this. Now, as we move forward into the devices that Satan is establishing, the technologies, we go into the next technology or layer of technology in his false omnipresence, which is we are personal beacons. This one is very common, because this is the one where many of us don't even understand that we are the personal beacons that will be broadcasting or allowing omnipresence to happen in the beast system. How does this happen? Now, human beings will become personal transmitters, and there's many ways that this is going to happen. There's many technologies that will help this to happen, such as Neuralink and a few other ones, but we're not going to be talking about those ones in this episode. But what we will be dealing with is something very common that almost every single one of us have, and that thing is phones. Our phones. Phones constantly interact with GPS, with cell towers, with Wi-Fi, with Bluetooth, with apps. Your movements are becoming data. Your routine has become predictable. When you're at home, when you work, when you're on Instagram, when you're on YouTube, when you're watching TV, because all of these things are connected. Our phones is just one of the ways we have and we will be beacons for false omnipresence for the beast system. Like it or not, this system is coming into play, and you need to understand what is happening. Yes, we all carry phones. Are we using them to preach the gospel? Absolutely. Are we using them for good things? Yes. But the system that is being made, right? The malicious and evil system that's being made is being built with the same technology. You need to understand that. So think about it. I want you to think about this. You don't need to be followed by a person when your device is consistently broadcasting where you are, where you currently are. And it just does that just based on you using it normally. Your movement and your routine becomes trackable patterns that the system monitors. Your phone right now has the capability to tell you when you and I was last in church. Have you thought of that? You could tell somebody this week and say, hey, have you been to church? And they're like, yeah, you know what? I went last week. But the phone knows the truth. Oh, see that? Your phone knows if you were actually at church. Your phone knows where were you if you lied to your spouse. You see that? Your phone knows. And there'll come a time when the beast system is fully established that Satan will know. Not just by spirits and monitoring spirits and his minions and his demons and invisible devils that are moving on the earth, but he's going to know based on your phone. Wow. Wow. See, Satan is the prince of the power of the air. See, the Greek word for air in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2 is air, referring to the immediate atmosphere technology that has been filled, that now filled that air with a web of signals. Our air, right, is not just the atmosphere, but the things that are in the air. And the signals in the air are things such as Wi-Fi, GPS, radio waves, etc. and etc. That is invisible yet encompasses everywhere. It creates a counterfeit spirit. Once again, it creates a counterfeit spirit, a counterfeit omnipresence that is everywhere yet belongs to a centralized earthly power. So this thing is not spiritual in its sense. It's earthly technology able to go all about the air and broadcast so that Satan can use it to be able to see throughout the world. Now I want you to remember this, saints. Many of us can't live without our phones, which is a sad truth. Many of us are addicted to our phones, and the beast system is being established while we become consumed and enveloped and addicted to the phone. How many of you are actually addicted to the Bible? You're addicted to your phone, but are you addicted to the Bible? Are you addicted to the things of God? Are you addicted to letting His purpose reign? Are you addicted to making sure that the gospel is preached? Is it your desire? Our desire needs to become everything that God would want it to be. Our desire needs to line up with Christ. But in many cases, it doesn't. In many cases, our desire in the morning, when our desire in the morning should be to thank God and to give praise to God, the first thing we do is pick up our phone because our desire is to see what is happening on the phone. So I want y'all saints to remember this. The strongest tracking device is the one people won't live without. So if you can't live without it, Satan, when the system is fully established, it's already here, but when he has full control of the system and he pronounces himself as the Antichrist, then you'll truly see who can live without it and who can't, because he will be tracking you. Now, as we move on, we look at the third counterfeit omnipresence, which is number 3, and that's global coverage. No dead zones allowed. No dead zones allowed. What is this I'm talking about? I'm talking about satellite networks that expand and cover well beyond cell phone towers. See, connectivity where towers are weak and non-existent, which would be in rural parts of maybe Africa, rural parts of China, rural parts of even Canada or the US. Where that is weak, satellites will pick up. Now, I know we've seen satellites in the past and they've been around for many decades, but what's happening now is a lot different, because what we're seeing now is things such as Starlink. See, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation. That's what he calls it. He calls this thing a constellation, just like we know of the constellations in the Bible, or the constellations that many of the people in ancient times spoke on. This is a constellation of satellites that are operated by SpaceX. And this uses thousands of small satellites that are in a lower Earth orbit. So they're not high into space. They're hovering and orbiting Earth at a low altitude. And what it does is it's made to provide high-speed internet globally, especially in rural and remote areas that are lacking this service. Now, it's crazy because Elon Musk was accomplishing this, founded by Elon Musk, and he could be doing other things than trying to get internet all over the world. He could be trying to, fix world hunger, feed the poor, do righteous things, but he's more concerned about getting internet all over the world. It doesn't need cables, it doesn't need fiber, it's 100% available, and to be honest, guys, it's very cheap. When me and my wife stayed in Barbados for a few months, and we got cell phones out there, but I was thinking to buy a Starlink and get one, because I knew that wherever I go in Barbados where the internet doesn't work, it will be working in Barbados. That's how powerful the coverage for this thing is. And it's not very expensive either. About the same price as your local internet, maybe a little bit more, depending how much coverage you want, if you want worldwide coverage. So this is what's happening right now. Now, when the beast is ready, your device will remain reachable all the time. Most of our devices, when we're out of certain areas where the connections in the 3G and the 4G and the 5G are not connected, then we are essentially plugged out. When this is fully established and fully connected for the beast system, because it's already created, but the beast has not taken power over the entire systems because these are different technologies. When it is, you will be reachable all the time with every device that you have, no matter where you are in the world. What's interesting about these satellites is they do have cameras. These cameras have video of Earth, and this has already been confirmed because they've already done this by capturing images of eclipses and other things. So not only does he have thousands of satellites all over the world flying around, over 9,500 active satellites, but they're able to take pictures, they're able to take video, they're able to monitor you and see what's happening. So they have above, they have below, and they have right next to you. Above and below and right next to you. Do you see how Satan is trying to establish this false omnipresence? Pay attention, people. I need you to watch this to the end. It's very important. You need to get this in your system so you can be prepared. Now, in Revelations 13:13, it says, the beast, it says, in Revelations 13:13, it says, it performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in front of people. So that's what the beast is going to do. Now, is it possible that the networks being built in the sky will be used to create lying signs and wonders? Like making fire come down from the sky? Think about it. Technology could be what causes the lying signs and wonders. Look what Paul spoke about in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9 and 10. He says, the coming of the lawless one is by the activity of Satan with all power and false signs and wonders, and with all wicked deception for those who are perishing because they refuse to love the truth and be saved. So what are we looking at here? False signs and false wonders that I believe are going to be done by technology. Why do I say that? Because Elijah called fire from heaven when he faced the prophets of Baal, right? Elijah called fire from heaven and it fell from heaven and consumed his sacrifice. But the prophets of Baal couldn't do it. They prayed, they cut themselves, they jumped around, they skipped around, they did all kind of stuff, but they couldn't get the miracle of fire to happen. So because of that, I believe technology from the sky, possibly these satellites, will be what's used to do lying signs and wonders that the saints need to be careful for. Because remember, saints of God, when the false prophet comes, he's going to be someone making it seem like they're for Jesus, but they're against Jesus. And they're going to be doing lots of signs, lots of wonders, proclaiming they're from God, but they're not. Remember that. And whatever signs and wonders they're going to do, it's going to trick a lot of people. Like nowadays, we have a lot of false prophets talking about they have a prophecy from God, and they're false, and they're talking to familiar spirits, and some of them are just so blatantly false that they're using technology. Remember Peter Popoff using technology to prophesy to people, going on people's Facebooks and doing all these technological things. So it's just not familiar spirits that people will consult, but also doing false miracles. And the false prophet is going to be doing false miracles that's going to trick many. So be mindful, because I believe it's going to be from technology, but I digress. Now, I wanted to mention something about 6G, but we're not going to go there today. I just want the saints of God to look into that, and this will be coming out in 2030. Full 6G launch will be coming out in 2030. This technology, guys, you need to look it up, but it's going to be connected to the satellites on Earth that are going to be able to scan and identify all objects that are on the ground. So it'll be able to tell what's a tree, what's a bird, what's a cat, what's a human holding a cell phone, what's a car on the road, just by the waves that are being pushed out of it. This is something you need to look at. But let's move forward, because I need you to get this. Stay till the end. You need to stay till the end, because we want you to be prepared to know what the enemy has in store for 2026 and beyond. Now on to the fourth counterfeit, the unifying mind. Now what is this? Separate systems become one system. All these technologies become one unified technology. All of these things will be connected so that they will know everywhere you are, wherever you're going, and everything will be connected all together so that the system can run at its optimal position, right? Because what will happen is that Satan will take these different technologies I spoke about and unify them by a singular combining technology. Now, Satan's power will be multiplied when these technologies connect to one another. I want you to be very mindful of this. When all these technologies connect to each other, Satan's power will be multiplied, because your face on camera will equal your name. Your name will equal your location. Your location will equal your location history. Your location history will equal your relationships. Your relationships will equal your buying and selling activities, and so on and so on and so forth. So this is where, just by being around the grid, you'll be easily identified. They'll know who you are. They'll know your friends. They'll know that you're Christian. They'll know that you believe in Jesus. They'll even know how fervent you are with Jesus. They'll know, hey, does this person go on their Bible app? How often do they use it? Do they talk about Jesus a lot on social media? Are they a threat to the kingdom of darkness? This is the things that are going to be happening, and they'll be able to know where you are, wherever you are. Is this person outside street preaching? Oh, they are. Let's make sure that we go and arrest that guy, because there's going to be a time when street preaching becomes fully illegal. They're trying to do it right now in Canada. They're trying to do it in the US, but we're praying that it doesn't happen. But when it does, we'll still be preaching. Now let's move forward. Now, in order to do this, they're going to be doing data fusion and surveillance platforms and combining those together. The main company that comes to mind for this is Palantir. They're going to need a platform like this platform called Palantir. And the whole world is talking about this company. So if you don't know what it is, you've maybe not been paying attention, but this is a massive company. Now, what is Palantir? Well, let's just play a video clip so that you can kind of understand it a little bit.
After 17 years on the private market, data analytics company Palantir is ready to make its public market debut.
Co-founded by Peter Thiel back in 2003, its mission, providing software that customers use to integrate volumes of data from images to spreadsheets into a central platform where it can then be securely analyzed and interpreted.
News of Palantir's plans to go public, as well as its recent announcement that it will be relocating its headquarters from Palo Alto to Denver, has put the secretive software company in the spotlight. Best known for its work with U.S. government agencies like the CIA, the Department of Defense, and most controversially, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the company was founded following 9/11 with the goal of defending American interests.
The core mission of our company always was to make the West, especially America, the strongest in the world for the sake of global peace and prosperity.
But in recent years, Palantir has also courted customers like Airbus, Chrysler, and BP. Commercial customers now make up about 50% of the company's revenue, a number that's trended upwards over the past decade. And even though Palantir has never turned a profit, revenue has been growing as losses have narrowed.
Perfectly normal for a software company to show that sort of trajectory going into their IPO. The question is, does the economic model over time look like one that will eventually produce profits? And you can certainly get there.
But while longtime investors are eager for the company to go public, for others, confusion remains about what it is exactly that Palantir does, and why their work with law enforcement agencies has raised eyebrows.
So, as you can see, that is what Palantir is. Now, it's not just a name. I want people to understand that it's not just a name, because names have meaning. Names have meaning. And just like when God names something in the Bible, he gives it a name and it has a specific meaning. And usually the meaning is tied to the purpose. Likewise, Satan's minions like to do the exact same thing. Satan and his minions love to do the same thing. Now, the name that the gentleman is using for Palantir comes from a movie from a so-called Christian author called J.R.R. Tolkien, and the movie is called Lord of the Rings. Many people would know this movie, and they may have watched it. But in the Lord of the Rings, he has something called a Palantir, and I want to show you just a clip in the movie, because like I told you before, Satan likes to use predictive programming in his agenda, showing you what is to come, what's his purpose. He's using different things that are coming from media and history to show you what he has planned, using these names for his own devious purposes. So let's watch this quickly.
The power of Isengard is at your command, Sauron, Lord of the Earth. Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
Now, I just wanted to show that clip very quickly because I wanted you to understand what you're looking at. So what you're looking at here is some form of a crystal ball. The Palantir is this type of ball, sphere, that is meant to communicate with and talk to people and be able to see different things from thousands of miles away, right? And it's actually used in what you're watching there from that movie. It's actually used to communicate with a demonic force, a type of demon or devil, Satan, if you will, in the movie, some kind of Satan, and he's communicating with it, and there's many of these types of spheres that exist in the world, in the movie, that are used to observe and see what's happening. So now, when you look at what Peter Thiel did, is he named it after this demonic observation ball, like a crystal ball, because he's trying to signify that what Palantir is going to be is some kind of crystal ball that is able to look and observe and understand and know and see all these things, because his goal is to, just like what we've seen earlier with the technologies, is to take all those technologies, which some people are already using it. He works with law enforcement and other high-tier agencies like the military and NSA, FBI, CIA, all the top-tier industries. He's working with them, and they're plugging in their systems in there. So this is a system. What I'm trying to show you is that this Palantir system is going to be instituted with the power of AI, because these things are partly AI powered, right? And instituted to observe man and have all the data on each and every one of us to be able to track us, know what we're doing, know what we plan to do, know where we're going, and where we just came from, as well as everything else that connects to us, so that they can have some form of omnipresence over our life. But this thing, Palantir, connects to a lot of what we're going to be talking about in future episodes. But I want to move forward because I want to show you guys something just quickly before we close. Who is this guy, Peter Thiel? Peter Thiel, and you see there Elon Musk. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are the iconic tech billionaires who founded PayPal. For those of you that don't know, you see how this connects? Elon Musk is doing Starlink. Peter Thiel is doing Palantir. They're doing things that are very close to what each other's doing because they're all together, whether they know it or not, to be part of this system that is going to be for the beast. I want to show you guys something deeper quickly before we close about this guy, Peter Thiel. Now, Peter Thiel is a Republican. He identifies publicly as a gay Republican, and he has been a major donor and influential figure within the Republican Party for many, many, many years. Why am I bringing this up? Because you see him with his husband, Peter Thiel, his husband, Peter Thiel and Trump. You guys see that there? There's a reason why I'm bringing this up, because we need to understand that these people that we see, Donald Trump, it doesn't matter who it is, Democrat or Republican, they are not Christians, and they are not here to further Christ's agenda, right? Remember, guys, Christ's agenda that he gave before he left this earth was for us to go out and preach the gospel and make disciples. But what's happening here is they're here for Satan's agenda, because they're agents of Satan, and they're fulfilling Satan's agenda. But really, it's obviously God's prophecies by his sovereign will. So even though they're Satan's minions, God is still sovereign, and they're only fulfilling the prophecies that's already been foretold, right? So if you're voting for Democrat or Republic, I understand, but I wanted to bring this up because just because you chose a lesser of two evils doesn't make one better than the other, because Trump is not a man of God, and he won't be. Because if he was a man of God, why is he not rebuking Peter Thiel? He's telling him, hey, mister, you're not saved. You're married to a man. This is evil, and you're on your way to hell. Because they don't care about that. They might do that for votes, but they don't care about it really, because they're on Satan's agenda, not Christ, right? You don't be mistaken, saints of God. These men are not Moses. They're not Joshua. They're not David. They're not Solomon. They're not even Josiah, right? These leaders are not men of God. They're simply pawns of Satan. Same thing goes for Canada with the liberals and the conservatives. Because, like I said, if these people are really men of God, like he says he is, he says he believes in Jesus, then you would be doing what Christ said to do. Do Christ's agenda, not Satan's agenda. But instead, what I see is full partnerships with Satan and his minions to institute his agenda and not Christ's agenda. You see that, guys? So I just wanted to add that as a caveat, because you need to understand where we are in 2026, because the beast is almost here, and you need to be prepared. Let's move forward. Now, I want you to remember this, saints. Counterfeit omnipresence is built by combining local eyes, which would be cameras and different technologies that we talked about, such as Amazon Sidewalk, personal beacons, which would be like our smartphones, global reach, which are satellites on and above the earth, and a unified mind of data fusion, which would be something like Palantir. Now, these technologies are not exhaustive, but they are for you to get an understanding of what has come and what is coming to the saints of God, because people are not ready for what is about to happen this year and every year going forward. So, with that being said, we come to a closing on Satan's fake omnipresence and episode 1 of this 4-part series. Now, episode 2, we'll be talking about how Satan imitates God's omniscience, which is God's all-knowing power. You don't want to miss out on this episode. You need to watch it. You need to see what Satan has planned in the beast system and what is already here regarding him imitating omniscience, so that you can be prepared for when the beast system is fully initiated. So, as always, saints, may mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you all. And God bless you.
Hi, everyone.